pretty soon. But who are you seeing active in the luxury space? Are you seeing a shift in, is it baby boomers? Is it still the parents of baby boomers? Are you starting to see activity from millennials? It sounds like there's a great value play in your market with the price suppression. Who's active in the marketplace on the buy side?
It's mostly rich people. But here's a funny thing. Like, it's not to harp on this 45-year thing, but for most of my career, all my clients were older than me. And I was always trying to bridge that gap between generations and stratas of wealth and age. Because I was 21, but I looked like I was 14. And so I can't even put my finger on the moment that occurred, but at some point in the not too distant past, all the clients are becoming younger than me. And I don't even know what's happened. And so what's interesting is that it presents a special challenge because, for example, the people of my generation, or the older ones, the greatest generation, and by the way, I built my business on the greatest generation. And that's probably one of the saddest things about my business is that, I believe in repeat and referral business, and a lot of my repeat customers, they're dying now. So I go on appointments now where they're died, they're about to die. It's just heartbreaking because I remember these people charging around the golf course, for example, and now they're sitting in a table with an oxygen tank talking about selling their house. And so that's a very sad thing, that the greatest generation was just such a blessing to be able to work with them. They were above me. The boomers like me, as well as the greatest generation, the appeal to them is mostly emotional. So when I talk to, when we're helping them find the right piece of vacation real estate, we're talking about family memories. We're talking about reconnection. We're talking about catching minnows on the shoreline. We're talking about 4th of July picnics by the sea. We're talking about, family gatherings and all that stuff. When you talk about the younger generation, they're like, they want to talk about data points. They want to talk about metrics. And I'm like, forget the metrics. Let's talk about reconnecting with your kids here. And it's like, it's so funny because I'm so used to being an emotional person, making a connection with buyers and sellers to do transactions. But the younger people are way more transactional, much less emotional, much more data driven. And sometimes I'll say to them, because when you get older, you can say stuff you couldn't say before. But I'll say, you need to listen to your elders here. And
that's a great line. I wish I could use.
You will. And it's going to come faster than you think. Here's the thing. Boomers buy expensive homes as a reward for a life well lived, a life hard lived, success hard won, with sacrifices along the way in the form of missed recitals, missed family gatherings, missed sports games. In the house, the property they buy in Sarasota or in Cape Cod is a magnet that pulls the family back together again. The younger buyer is more of an aspirational purchase where here's the house, here's the property, here's the estate, and I'm going to grow into it. I'm going to become the kind of person who would have a property like this. I'm going to buy the property first and become the person afterwards. So the boomers are, I'm the person, here's my reward. The younger people are, here's sort of the reward, and I'm going to grow into it. It's more of an aspirational. It's a very interesting, but the emotion is way less, which is hard for an older guy like me. It's something you have to be very much aware of because, and I try to teach them along the way that, playing 9 holes with your kids after dinner when you can walk out the back path here and you end down the golf course, that's a treasure.
Right.
Forget the benchmarks, forget the data points. I mean, they use the words, and they use those words too, like, I'm negotiating with somebody on an expensive home and they're like, Jack, the data points just aren't lining up. I just want to say, oh my God, it's like, the data points aren't lining up. Well, you know what? The stars are.
Your own game. It's not.
Yeah.
That's 100% true. But so knowing the fact that obviously the luxury buyers are getting younger and younger, and Sarasota is not exactly known to be a millennial marketplace, but we are still seeing it. Our average age down here, I think Google puts us somewhere in the around the 50-year-old mark for our major metro area in downtown Sarasota. But of course, probably the average age is, early to mid 60s, but we are still seeing it. We're starting to see the younger and younger luxury buyers. So